members, thank you for your tireless attention yesterday and today. Thank you for this opportunity to speak before you this early morning. I'm speaking on behalf of my name is Bradley Pierce. I'm speaking on behalf of myself, along with my wife and our unborn child. I'm not speaking on behalf of any organization. And I'm an attorney and also a citizen of Williamson County. I have some prepared statement, but I want to just address, as an attorney, some of the arguments that have been mentioned before by various parties related to the doctrine of preemption and a few other statements, if you don't mind. Preemption is all about when federal law conflicts with state law, then federal law trumps state law. And that's what our Constitution is known as the Supremacy Clause of our Constitution. I think what Representative Simpson pointed out here is that what we're dealing with here is not a law whatsoever. We're not dealing with a statute. We're not even dealing with a regulation. We're dealing with a policy. We're dealing with a rule of the TSA. It hasn't been through a committee hearing like this. It hasn't been subject to any kind of public hearing whatsoever. It's a mere fiat of an administrative agency and does not have the force of law. And so the preemption does not apply. Additionally, the Supremacy Clause begins as follows: this Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof. Going on then, shall be the supreme law of the land. Of course, what's the most supreme law of the land? The Constitution. And any law passed not in pursuance thereof is not the supreme law of the land, and certainly not any rule which has been declared is certainly not the supreme law of the land as well. And just to address Mr. Rowland's a brief statement that he made, and to cite one case law, Bosky versus Kaminyori holds that in order for a regulation, in order for a state agent or a federal official to enjoy what's called Supremacy Clause immunity, the regulation under which they act must be lawful and constitutional. Also, as Representative Simpson has pointed out, this is not just about the actions of the TSA, although they're the most poignant examples of these abuses that we're seeing and that I believe Representative Simpson is attempting to address. The bill also prevents state actors from performing these very same actions if they were ever told to do so or if they ever chose to abuse their power. This law protects us from them as well as the TSA. Also, what's known as Supremacy Clause immunity finds its roots in a case called In Re Neagle from around 1890. And that case held that the exercise of that state official's duties must be reasonable, necessary, and proper. And in this case, they're none of those things. And so they should not be able to enjoy the Supremacy Clause immunity, which has been raised. So I just wanted to mention that from a legal perspective. I'm also here not just to talk as a lawyer, but as to talk as a husband and a father. And I care about my family, and I care about their future. And because of that, I'm here to respectfully request that this Criminal Jurisprudence Committee send HB 1937 to the floor without delay. And I care about protecting my family. When many parents tell their children never to let anyone, stranger or otherwise, touch you in certain places. And if they do, come and tell them Daddy and Mommy immediately. Now when we go to the airport, though, where the rules apparently do not apply, Daddy and Mommy are expected to surrender our child to a stranger to perform on them the very acts that we have said were so wrong. And Daddy and Mommy are just supposed to stand by and say, "It's okay, honey. It's the government." This is a nightmare for all of us, but particularly for little children who simply cannot understand this hypocrisy, and I think obviously neither can we. Should I Should we tolerate someone coming into our home? Should I tolerate someone breaking into my home and stripping my wife naked and molesting our child? Forbid it, Almighty God, yet we put the person in a blue uniform, and now that's exactly what we must now submit to. And it's in front of an audience the size of an airport. You know, flying used to be fun, but it's not anymore. If these scanners and pat-downs are tolerated in Texas airports, my family will not be flying out of them. No, I will not allow TSA to play show and fill with my family, and certainly not for the appearance of security. I care about my family's future. Is this the future that we want? Our family's been in Texas over 150 years, and we aim to stay here. And our ancestors fought and died for these freedoms, which some may want to toss them away for the promise of some security, but I'm frankly willing to die for them just like my ancestors were. And I ask our legislature to defend us as well. And the Texas and U.S. constitutions forbid the government from performing unreasonable searches. And if the virtual strip search of my wife and the creation of child pornography of my child, if that's not unreasonable, if the sexual assault of men and women and the molesting of children is not unreasonable, then what is? I'm here to ask each of you to stand upon the Texas and U.S. constitutions and defend the citizens you have sworn to serve against an out-of-control federal agency. I thank you all so much for joining David Simpson in this bill. And I ask you to please protect our families. And that's because the time has come to draw a line in the sand, to stand upon our constitutions, and to keep Texas